Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for a brand new episode this week, where it's been the first episode in a while actually. I no hiatus because we were shite, and now we're back because we're good. Just in general, just didn't have the time to do it. Probably a good welcome break as well, because in that time that we've been away, Rangers have been really good. Danny Rose came in, he steadied the ship. He's got a lot out of these players, which I don't think anybody thought was possible, and we've been able to go on a run of games and pick up points, important points, and there's none more important than that game on Saturday there where we took all three, changed the game in the second half, and I think we've got a mark of a really, really good, promising manager here at Rangers for once. I think you've seen before, and maybe when these managers come in mid-season, go on a run, get the players behind them, these big games come up, and you kind of then know the writing's on the wall after that. But he's been able to get the most out of these players, and probably the worst Rangers team you're actually looking at for a long time as well. So he's done a really good job. So obviously we'll talk about the game first, and then we'll go on to the Aberdeen game, which might be in jeopardy because the weather up here is pish at the moment. And we'll see obviously how that plays out over the next 24 hours. But if you do enjoy, as always, you could like, subscribe, and share. And we'll go on to the Celtic game, of course, which was just a huge, huge statement victory for Rangers in this title race. They've been able to leapfrog their way right up there now. Game in hand, of course. The more that we could maybe go second ahead of Celtic, which is unthinkable considering we didn't win our first league game in September. But we're in this stage now. I think we've got all the credentials to go and do it. I think we've got a manager, as I said, that can get the most out of his squad. But for me, looking at the game, and obviously since the game has happened now, Wilfred Nancy has been sacked like an hour ago. So Rangers really do need to strengthen in areas as well. This win can't be seen as one of those where we maybe don't need to do as much in the transfer window. For me, still think we need a lot.
Aye, obviously massive victory yesterday. Like you say, it was a game of two halves. The first half, you're thinking, here we go again. It's a big game. Doesn't matter how rubbish Celtic are. We usually get that mental block that we just can't beat them in big games, especially at Celtic Park. First half, they just controlled the game. We really couldn't get a looking in. I don't know what really we were trying to do in the first half. Obviously, you seen we were pressing really high, uh, going man for man. It just wasn't really working at all. Celtic were getting in through the back so easily, could have finished the game off. And then it's good that we've actually got a manager now that's competent to realise he's made a mistake, change it at half time, and actually go on and win the game. So
Hmm.
I thought as well the team selection. Obviously, we're going to go into that later on, but I thought to bring on Diamande at half time really changed the game as well because Asgard, man, terrible, terrible first half again. Getting booked early doors, just he's like an empty jersey. Could see he probably at fault for the first goal as well. So
No,
overall, I'm really happy, but I first half wasn't good.
no. The first half, I think the first 10 minutes or so, Rangers what they were trying to do actually was all right. But I think when Celtic knew they could get that space in behind, and they were firing every single ball through Fernandez and Magoma's side of the pitch, they get in a good few times. It could have really been a lot more in the first half for Celtic. I thought Celtic were good. They exploited us in areas that we couldn't really deal with. And we had a couple of passengers out in that pitch, no doubt about it. Thelo Asgard, he might be fine for these games against Dundee United at home and St Mirren at home and all that, but he's got more time and the luxury to be on the ball. But in these games where it has to go up another level, it has to be more demanding on himself to release the ball quicker. He's just so slow on the ball. He gets caught in the ball every time. That's now three Old Firm games he's played. He's took a yellow card in the first 10 minutes he won. He's got sent off in the other one, and the first one is just don't anybody wants to think about that again because it was terrible for both sides. But he's not at the races at this level for me. Another one in the second half, in the first half, sorry, was Raskin. I thought he was poor. He was giving the ball away all the time. Barron similarly. I just don't think the midfield was right, and Asgard was probably the biggest problem with
I
that
feel
there.
like we
But
were lacking. Well, our leaders were lacking in the first half as well. I don't know if that maybe helped with the team talk or something that Danny Rowe came out at half time inspired us a bit more. But like you obviously say, like Barn and Raskin, I thought you look at in games like this, but I thought the leadership was really lacking in the first half as well. And then, like I say, it's good that we came out and changed that in the second half and didn't let the game get away from us like it usually does in games like this.
well, that's the thing. It could have as well because Danny Rowe was lucky that it was only 1-0 at half time as well.
Aye,
That Celtic couldn't take their opportunities. But aye, it takes a good manager, and especially managing Rangers or Celtic, you need to be adaptable. You don't need to be like Wilfred Nancy or Russell Martin, for example, where he's just going to try and play the
aye,
same way, play the same way. Rangers make one sub, one change in the game, and we run over the top of them. And everything that you say about Raskin and Barron and the whole team in the first half completely goes out the window in the second because we absolutely dominated the game for start to finish. Of course, Celtic got some chances as well when we went 3-1 up. We were just kind of trying to see the game out by that point, which is fine. But aye, for 45 minutes, Diomande coming on to Shermitty's equaliser to 2-1, 3-1. Aye, we done really well to get ourselves into a position I didn't really see was going to happen. I thought it was just going to be same old, big game. These players can't handle it. Doesn't really matter who we have in the dugout. It's never really going to work. But Danny Rowe has done something that other managers haven't been able to do, and it's beat Celtic away from home in a really meaningful game. And it gets us up on level points with them with a game in hand. But aye, somebody you really do need to give the plaudits in that second half is Yusuf Sharmiti. He scores the two, which is crazy. It's mental. I couldn't even believe what I was watching when you're watching it in the telly. But um, I did not see that coming at all. He takes his first goal really nicely. It's a really smart finish for him. Of course, Raskin does well to break into the box and get the ball on a plate for him. The second one is just, when you look at that back, how many times I've seen that. Celtic are just, I don't even understand what they were trying to do at that situation. Trusty running away for the ball, more concerned about Connor Barron running into the box. Shimity has a clean finish. Obviously, Schmeichel gets a hand to it, but after that, Celtic really couldn't react to what Rangers were doing. They were just adding that extra midfielder and just made it so much more difficult for Celtic to even kind of play through us, and it gave us so much more um, flexibility to just go forward and create chances. And the third one comes through Mikey Moore. Of course, Schmeichel should do a lot better for that one as well, but you're taking it. And then on the day, I don't think the team could have been picked any worse apart from Asgard, really, on the reflection,
aye.
the Everton.
Aye, no, 100%. Maybe just at the time, obviously, you can't really say it was a mistake putting Asgard in. So obviously, he's played well in the two games between Christmas and New Year. Got his goals, won his games, like, important games. But aye, it's just like you say, it's just games like this when the pressure's on, he can't really cope. And I think it says a lot about teams in the championship and that, like maybe like putting their nose up a bit to obviously the pace in that here. Obviously, he's obviously getting a lot more time in the ball in the championship and that. He was going to come up here and be the star player. Like people were saying, it just shows you that you can't get 5, 6 touches in the ball and look the part in games like this. And then I was just like you were saying as well, the three goals. It felt that's usually goals we give away at Celtic Park. Felt like
Hmm.
free gifts. Obviously, we played worked really, the first goal we worked really well. Obviously, Raskin done well to drive into the box, but that second goal was a gift. I don't know what trust he's doing. That's usually about our defenders do.
Aye.
Just so he just kept running. He probably couldn't believe his luck. They just opened up for him. And then obviously Mikey Moore. It's a great finish, but Michael should be saving it. Actually takes a deflection that makes it easier for the keeper to save and it still goes in. Know that I'm complaining, I'll take them all day long. But aye, like you say, but I think the starting lineup was decent enough. Obviously, I think they were told to maybe go man for man. That's what maybe stretched us a bit in the first half. But then obviously, like you were saying, he's obviously seen that he can't do that in games like this, and he's put Diamande in just to strengthen us a bit more. That's up in our favour. So
Aye. No, I think the flat three in midfield is just so much better for us because we had one ball was just wiping the whole team out really, and that of course had to be adjusted, and there's of course got to be big plaudits for Danny Rowe for doing that. But I think through the rest of the squad in the second half, Moore taking his goal really well. I thought he was him and Gassama maybe a bit on the poorer side to be fair to you in this game.
aye,
Raskin and Barron really good in midfield. I thought Fernandez, Suter, Magoma, Sterling all had big moments in the second half where they had to be switched on. Butland as well. I think if you look at the stats, Celtic had
aye,
even 9 shots on target alongside their goal. Butland probably should have do a lot better for that one, but I think if you look on the reflection of the game, the amount of saves and big moments and crosses that Celtic put into the box and he was able to gather them was good. Of course, we only ended the game with 4 shots on target and scoring three. So, like you say, we don't really get this luck when we go to Celtic Park. It's usually we're sitting here the day after an Old Firm game talking about
I've butts
decisions
and
and
babies,
all
aye.
that. Aye, so it's nice to come on and actually talk positive about the team, and really think we're going in the right direction. So no, it was a great afternoon on Saturday, but then it kind of comes crashing down an hour ago. Wilfred Nancy gets sacked. You're thinking, right, he maybe is going to get the game on Saturday, and then we'll see how that goes. But the Celtic board have made the decision. He's get sacked. Do you think that kind of changes it in their favour? I feel that anybody Celtic do appoint won't be any worse than Wilfred Nancy. That nobody that comes into Celtic in their next 8 games is going to lose six. So the race is definitely on between Hearts, Rangers, Celtic, Motherwell are up there. Hibs are only a couple of points off everybody. So there's a lot of teams in there in the mix. Do you think it changes in our favour? Do you think Celtic maybe get that manager like Martin O'Neill that will take them through games and just win them like Danny Rowe's been doing for us?
Well, like you say, I actually couldn't really get any worse for Celtic, which is a bit unfortunate now when you look at it. But I don't know. I think it definitely puts them in a better position than they were in. Obviously, I feel like this is just. I think this we just need to focus on ourselves. Really get some good signings in. It's a good incentive for us to actually see that right. They're no away for this now. Like they mean business. I think when you're looking at it now, they probably like gave Nancy this game and seen like we can't give him this January window. Obviously, they've sacked his deal as well, who he appointed him, I'm sure. So I think that
Mm-hmm.
speaks volumes as well. But I like to say, I think we just need to focus on ourselves, get our signings in. It definitely benefits them, but I just kind of hope they don't get Martin O'Neill again because the players played well under him. I
Aye.
heard him as Maloney as well, maybe to the end of the season. I'm not sure, but again, I think we just need to focus on ourselves. And
Mm-hmm.
then we've clawed it back anyway now, especially. So we just need to hope and pray it's not as good as under O'Neill that it was the last time if it's him.
Ah, well, that's the thing now. It's obviously if Martin O'Neill comes in, he's worked with those players before. He's been able to get results under them when they've again been underperforming. I think the good thing on our side though is we've had Danny Rowe in the job now for a couple of months. He's been able to see an Old Firm defeat. He's been able to see European and how we are at that level. He's also just been able to adjust everyone back down to the proper real basics in the league and get his points. And while also going to Celtic Park and winning the game as well. So I don't know. I think it's all up there for Celtic. I think for us now, it's a massive sliding doors moment. We need to get players in now. I don't think the Rangers board can really look at that on Saturday and think, guy, he's got enough out this team. We maybe don't need as much as we do. This team for me still needs about 4 or 5 proper quality
Aye.
players in. I'm looking at the left back area. I'm looking for another centre half. I'm looking for a midfielder, a striker, and probably a winger. If we can get all of them in January, go for it, and then full send the second half of the season under Danny Rowe. Because we can't be caught not giving managers the tools to do what they can do. I think you've seen in games like Celtic and even the ones that we've played at home where we've won, we're just lacking that real instinct to score and create goals. And I think if we get another proper good winger in, if we maybe get another midfielder that can control the game, and there's loads of them in Scotland, by the way, that we just never seem to go and take
Aye.
advantage of. So we'll see.
I
I
think as
think for
well.
me, aye.
Sorry, I think as well. Like you want to get good. The team obviously it's not the finished article, but it's playing well as well. But we've got a lot of players on loan that it's great. They could do well even win the league this season, but at the end of the way, and you're back to square one. I really think about the back four. Like 3 or 4 of the players, like 9 times out of 10, are made up of loan signings. Like we get Mikey Moore, who's like probably really starting to be a good player for us on loan. Like it's you just want to get these
Mhm.
players in as well for even for next season. They've had a full 6 months under their belt. You know what I mean? So
No, I think so. I think we could maybe go down the route of getting one more person in on loan, or maybe getting somebody else's loan cut short or something like that. And again, January's a good window to get loan to buy deals as well if they
aye,
perform well and maybe getting them in the summer. So it's all up in the air. I think I've not really seen too many links come out. James Penrice is one that I wouldn't mind. Obviously, a couple of midfielders from Norway and that, but nothing really concrete coming out the transfer window as of yet. Maybe just trying to get those games over and done with, and then proper see where we are after the Old Firm game. But for me, definitely, we still need more in terms of strengthening this squad for a title push, definitely, because Danny O has been able to I polish a shite basically because this team was going nowhere a couple of months ago. He's came in and he's just completely stripped it back and took it back to basics. He's made it harder for teams to score against us, to beat us. He's defensively shored us up to where we're not really conceding any shots, any goals, sorry. Um, and he's been able to still carry a threat going forward, not as much as I believe we should as Rangers, but we've been able to get the job done in games that have been tight. I think he deserves a huge amount of praise for what he's done in his short time at Rangers so far. And it feels like, to me anyway, we've actually got the signs of a really good manager now for Rangers. He knows exactly what's required. He knows he just can't come in and change the whole system and this is how you play. He's been able to come in, he's tweaked a few things at the start. He's then just reverted back to what he knows will win his games. And I think we're on to a good manager here for once.
I, like you said as well, when he first came in, he was like, I'm not going to try and get my philosophy out straight away. I just want to win games. We need to win games. I think that shows you a lot about what it means to be a Rangers manager. It's good that he's actually grasped that early doors. Obviously, the stuff you've seen he was doing with like even like trying to get fan engagement as well, I think it's really helped a lot and like boosted the morale of the club as a whole. I think we were what, eighth when he came in, 8 points behind Celtic. God knows how many points behind Hearts. He's really closed that gap. He's done brilliant. You can only give your best props to him. Aye.
Aye, no, I like him. I like the way he carries himself as well. Even in the interview after the game, he could have got carried away like Gerrard did all those years ago and jump about like a
Aye.
dafty. And no, this is it. But he was very cool, calm, collected, and just looking at the next game. And I feel like that's what a Rangers manager has to be. They just have to be switched on to what's next. And for me, get him a couple of good players. And I would like to have at least one player in by the weekend, at least for the game against Aberdeen. But no, I think we should be doing all we can to get this in the best possible position to win the league. Because
I
Hearts,
hope.
fair enough, Hearts are good, but Hearts have never been at this point before. They've never been 6 points clear of Rangers and Celtic, and they need to keep going and going and going. We've seen against Hibs, sorry, in the derby that they underperformed, and I do feel that there is bumps in the road for Hearts. There's probably bumps in the road for us and Celtic, Motherwell as well, but I think we're the team at the moment that has the most consistent kind of way of grinding out results. I just really want to go to Ibrox the more and not have to grind out an R1-0 and just look
Aye.
convincing for once.
I hope we actually do back him as well because he does deserve it with the team he's been dealt with. And like you were saying, like I hope the board don't see it as like right, that was a good result. Like he's actually got the players. It's not about the players, it's about the manager because he still needs the players to back him. And then obviously that how many times have we actually won like in years gone by, like won a big game against Celtic, and then it's the next game where we just completely fall off. It's a
Mhm.
game at Ibrox tomorrow. If it goes ahead, that we should be winning, we need to be winning. I know obviously we might talk a bit later about Aberdeen getting a new manager bouncing up, but that really shouldn't be the issue. Like we're the better team on paper at the minute with
Mhm.
a form who are wanting to go for a league title. Like these are the games you need to win. It's great beating Celtic, but this game is arguably just as important because if you don't get the result, then it's kind of all for nothing.
Aye, this is like you do the hard work against Celtic, but you need to go and beat
Aye,
Aberdeen now. Aberdeen notoriously probably our kryptonite in the whole league. We never really perform well against them away or at home. They always raise the game. That's not going to be any different. Of course, they might have a caretaker bounce because Jimmy Tilleen, of course, has been sacked as well as Aberdeen boss, which is probably right to comment on as well. They've been poor this season. They have been probably poor for large parts of his reign as well. The cup final win probably papered over a lot of cracks for that board. Obviously considering that he was able to do that, they thought that obviously could come again. But Aberdeen are a team in turmoil as well. We play them back to back. I probably think it's a good time to play them. To be honest with you, I think they don't really seem to score a lot of goals. They concede a lot of chances. I think it was 17 shots Falkirk had in the first half against them. Obviously, that is under Tulane, but I don't think much will change for Tuesday. I don't think a caretaker is going to come in, for example, have one training session and they're going to be a completely different team. It's still going to be a lot of that, what he was doing with them. So, it's obviously going to be a tough game. I think mentally on paper for us, it's just get over the line again. For
aye.
Aberdeen, they want to come and spoil the party and knock us off a couple of points, of course. But I think it's a good time for this game to come. I think that Rangers team showed unity, they showed strength, and I think the fans actually showed like why. Right, if you just keep winning games, this is the support that you receive, and I think they could ride off the high of that. Thankful that there's no injuries as well. That Danny Rose spoke about today. Of course, the incident with Dujon Sterling that broke onto the media last night as well. Still don't really know the ins and outs of that one, but if it was his motor, he's definitely going to be up for some fine anyway. But apparently he's in the squad, he's available for selection, so must not have been that bad for him. But I think as you say, this has to be one of those games where we just pick up from where we left off, and I don't think there'll be much changes in the team at all. I think the only one really is Diomande. Just bring Diomande into where Asgard was playing, and just keep the exact same team. I think you're seeing the benefits of Emmanuel Fernandez now getting a run of games, and I'm liking the look of what he's doing in the defence. Suter, of course, he makes a difference in there. I'm not the biggest Suter fan myself, but he makes a difference in there instead of playing Sterling, who really is better at right back. And I think Tavernier will come in for Sterling just because of that situation, probably. But it's a huge game for these players to now just get over the line again, and get us in the best possible position going into the weekend.
I know, literally just what I was saying earlier, but probably I agree with the start lineup. You can't really change it after the performance that they put in a few days ago, but I just win the game. Just, no mistakes, no injuries, just 3 points up the road. Literally all you can
Literally.
do. Aye,
It's
aye.
been the same kind of
That's all
way
I
at
can say on it.
home. It's been the same kind of way at home all like the last couple of weeks, really, to be honest.
Aye,
Just win the game, just get enough in the game to get over the line. But I do think in recent weeks we have been creating a bit more. I think against Motherwell it was a tough game because Motherwell were, for me anyway, the best side in this whole league. Like the way they play football is just mental what he's been able to do with that group of players. But that's always going to be a tough game, and we were able to come out with that one, with the 1-0. I think against St Mirren we kicked on again and we showed a bit more of what we can do. I think Sheermiti, of course, he gets the two at the weekend, but really good selfless performance that night as well. Good assist for Fernandez's goal. I think Mikey Moore, of course, has benefited from Danny Rowe coming in. Probably the one player you look at and think, he is just a completely different player for the start of the season. He's always going to be a threat. Gassama is maybe the one for me that is that's why we need a winger for me because we just can't rely on Gassama to kind of play left or right whenever.
aye.
Desperately needing somebody else to come in there for me. Midfield is strong enough. Obviously Magoma's been decent, especially for a developmental one when he's only 19. I think performing at the level he has at times has been good, but we still need some cover in there. I would like to see a permanent left back signed for next season anyway, but my players are now coming back for injury. We've got a kind of settled squad for once, which is nice. I think it's been quite ideal that the backline hasn't been changing too much at times. And for me, it's just the exact same as you said. Just go and win the game. Because we are riding a high at the moment. I think everybody going to Ibrox Simona will be in high spirits and they'll believe now that we can go and beat these teams. Because we've got the kind of bit between our teeth now to really go and push on, and that'll be the message for Danny Rowe as well.
It's mental to think, man. He's like, what, 2, 3, 4 months ago, the fucking thought the season was done again. Even
Well,
a
that
few
was
weeks
it.
ago, getting beat off Hearts, and then you're thinking, right, but it's a good wee run, and then all of a sudden, that's like you were saying, Martin, this league, like, I think that the title race, like Hearts will drop points, Celtic will probably still drop points, they're nowhere near perfect. We're still kind of trying to find our feet a bit, even though we've been doing well in recent weeks. I think it's going to be one of these seasons that you don't need to be perfect. Like, obviously, you've seen Celtic go on these runs where they win, what, 12, 13, 14 games in a row, and then you're out it by
Hmm.
like Christmas, as you say, but I think it's going to be really tight this season. Hopefully, we come out on top.
Well, that's it. I think it's going to be tight, but we've got the run of games now in our stride. What is it? Aberdeen back to back, and I'm not sure who after that cup game in it. Probably a European game in there as well. That's maybe been the thing that's derailed us at times actually this year is Europe. We've
Aye,
performed well in the league, get a good result. You play in Europe, you get beat, you start shouting at whoever, and then the game at the weekend becomes even more difficult. But if we can just get this double header against Aberdeen out the way and get maximum points, it's just as big as beating Celtic, I think,
Right, 100%.
at this point in time. And we'll obviously watch whatever else what happens as well. So, aye, that's where we're at. We need to go and beat Aberdeen twice. So, aye, couldn't be harder for a Rangers team in this point of the season. But aye, of course, we'll keep updating on Twitter if we find anything on signings and that. It's been quite quiet in that front. I don't know if I'm concerned. Not really. Like sometimes at this point in the year we've had stuff lined up, but do you think there could have been a lot more done to get players in for that Celtic game, or are you kind of relaxed on it?
Well, obviously, you always want to get signings in. It's always exciting to hear that you're linked with people in that, but I wouldn't be too concerned now. It's still early doors in that. Obviously, I think we got a lot of business done during the summer. They didn't turn out to be so well, so maybe
Hmm.
they're being a bit more wary this time. Actually, being a bit more careful and calculating who they want to actually get. So I don't know, just focusing more on the football now than anything. But we obviously do need
No.
signings in.
Aye, aye, no, I think it could help us massively. But aye, on we go to that game on Tuesday. We'll see if it actually even goes ahead because Aberdeen
Aye,
apparently are travelling down the Mora, which is quite crazy considering there's supposed to be mental weather headed up their way in Glasgow as well. So we'll see if it goes ahead. But if it does, just win the game, Rangers, please. And
aye.
aye, hopefully we'll be back with another episode covering couple of two good results, maybe some more links for signings in the January window, possible outs as well. Again, we've not even really touched on that. Players still need to leave the club as well to make room for some of those ones coming in. But aye, we'll keep an eye on this week, which is a huge week for Rangers again, to hopefully get our head ahead in this title race. So aye, we'll see you then.